can start recording. Let me just give a few minutes for people to like mosey on in if they're interested in this. Otherwise, what is it? We'll just start with whoever, and then I'll post the recording later on to talk about what I'm going to go over. Let me see. I was really hoping that they were going to fix more of the provoker bugs. The fact that they only fixed 2 stuff, it drops it for a number of fights, but for the fights with really big emphasis like Blue Twister and Sikran, it's still above every healer by like a good 15%. It's just like for fights like Oglax, Bloodbound Horror, Rasha'nan, it's going to be tied with every other healer.
I mean, still probably worth having then. So.
Yes. Like, what is it? For Overnax especially, you do want that type of healer. What is it? It's essentially how in the older expansions, you always had like a disc place for the boost healers. You now have a preservation evoker in that place because they basically fulfill the same stuff. Except the difference is the preservation evoker is a lot more flexible than you're tied to like the 45 or 130 CD of Rapture and Evangelion.
Yeah, it strikes me as like a very burst like spot healy raid as opposed to like ramp style raids which we've had in the past.
Okay, I'll just go ahead and just get started with this, and then people will probably like fill in as time goes on. Or like I just watch the recording. So I usually like to just start off with what I want to get done for the week. So I mentioned in the announcement post, we're going to be doing Heroic Raid. We're going to do these 2 bosses for week close, which hopefully, doesn't take all that long. If we can somehow do all of Heroic Raid and these 2 bosses prior to break, that probably puts us on my most ideal timeline of calling Sikran and then potentially calling Rasha'nan, which, to me, we're kind of already a tiny bit behind in pacing, just because, Rasha'nan is fast approaching 200. I did say that our rankings was going to be like 200 to 250, but realistically our guild usually like pops off more towards the latter half of the raid tier rather than the early half. Usually there's like some kind of problem during the early half, and the last week was primarily just because we had to do normal raid in order to get IO, was because some people just aren't as geared as I would prefer. Let me just double check the IO was.
I'm about to jump like 3 or 4 eye levels once I take my weapon out of the vault.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm expecting for some people. Because I know that, like, for example, my 2 characters are like 614 and 611, but I haven't done any crafts or sent like a large chunk of my quest. So this character, this preservation worker, is about to like jump to 617, 618 prior to raid, which is a bit concerning that I'm able to maintain 3 characters while some of us are struggling to just maintain 1. But I'm not going to like complain all too much about it. It is what it is. Recruitment is going on in the background whenever stuff hits. But yeah, as long as we can get Sikran killed and then Rasha'nan is plowed through for the most part, like we get to 5-6 minutes. I don't think it should take that long to get through that part in Rasha'nan. We're in a very comfortable spot in my opinion. Just because most guilds at this point, they're killing these first 4 bosses. They're doing some fog on Overnax, and then they're just BOE farming, hoping that there's more Overnax nerfs. We're probably not going to do the BOE farm, but that's the thing that a lot of guilds are doing. But they're like, yeah, this stuff is massively overtuned. This stuff is also massively overtuned. We're just going to wait. There's no harm in doing it early. Alright, so there's that part. the next plot that I will mention, and I was hoping that some of our mages would actually pop up. I don't know how much people have actually seen how much the Tuesday tuning actually ended up shifting things, but fire mage is popping off. I don't know how I would feel about asking our mages to switch from arcane to fire, considering how much they struggle with arcane, but this is a thing. I'm waiting to like mention it in passing on Friday, and then all three mages are going to be like, "Wait, fire mage is popping off? Hold on."
Mitsu's gonna be pissed.
I mean, we'll know DXZ can swap because he usually tries to main fire.
Yes.
Um,
I mean, one of the biggest helpful stuff for fire mage in raid is the fact that it has a cheat death, and that's
Yeah.
passive. It's not even a talent point. You can't avoid the cheat death. Which is, this ranking is very surprising considering that the major score was all like, yeah, if you can't play arcane mage, you're just going to play frost mage, and yeah, that's a thing.
The fire tuning numbers were
Hmm.
kind of huge. They like really. It was like some of those spells were just 25%. It's like stuff you're hard casting constantly. So
Yeah. So what's it? Aside from that, not much else has changed. In terms of boss damage, in terms of what I'm prioritizing, I still would like really good. How was it? PM Hunter, Arcane Mage. Fire Mage is kind of in a similar boat. Arms Warrior, I'm looking for Short Enhanced Summon. I'm looking with Sparkles, and then most likely this is something to Messenger as well. What is it? I can't really use my logs for this because I was using Ace. What is it? 626 and 619 weapon, and the 636 actually makes such a big difference. It's insane. Like, what is it? What was our
Oh,
log?
I upgraded that weapon and I got to
Oh,
36.
nice. Alright, cool.
So
But yeah, what is it? Like, we have this for our last kill. The only people who died was Mitchie and Low. But this is really spooky. I've already been messaging Dax about a few stuff because being below a tank is really spooky. Well, most likely we're going to see Mickey or DXC in for Mythic for Prague. For weak cores, I'll have to see some stuff. Well, I can understand because he completely misinterpreted the stuff that I said. And realistically, it's because I was referencing a conversation we had 30 minutes prior. So I'm going to consider this more of a me issue than a Will issue because on Oglax, he definitely did more than fine. So that's the thing. What is it? The main stuff I was going to mention about the enhanced summon stuff was my stuff isn't all that good because of the fact that I didn't craft anything. But even then, the three enhanced are like near the top. In spite of great parsing. And the fact that this guy has PI when I don't triggers me to no end. There's no reason I should be competing with this guy without PI and with like as big of an eye level gap, but it's whatever. But this is about our current lead.
We love top damage gray parses.
Yeah, true. So what is it? So the two fights that we are plugging to are Rasha'nan, Sikran and Rasha'nan. Rasha'nan, they ended up taking away all the AoE pad stuff, which I'm so thankful for, even though it's 100% needed. Basically, whenever the infested spawns pop up, we're going to want to group them together with either A-Bomb, Corvines, Sigil of Change. Well, we don't have Sigil of Change. I'll briefly touch on that when we're going to go into the other stuff. But, what is it? Realistically, for the ads in this fight, what should be happening is we group all of them together. People hit a personal. We do one leg sweep. The ad should be dead within that one leg sweep. The ad should at most get 3 to 4 bites, which will take you from 100% to like 10% without a personal. Worst case scenario, it's going to be 7 bites, which is very spooky because that's effectively 160 to 180% of your HP. So that's like healers popping stuff into you while you're hitting a personal. So hopefully we can group them up pretty quick along with what is it? Along with CCing them. And then yeah, what is it? You have to like certain specs.
are you Mistweaver on this fight or a Provoker?
I'm most likely going to be learning how to provoke for this fight just because, yeah, this stuff exists.
Okay,
I am
that's fine.
so disappointed.
I'm just wondering for CC if we're going
Yeah.
with the sweep
What
Chaos
is
Nova
it?
rotation.
Yeah, it's going to be a like sweep Chaos Nova rotation. I believe these two, ignore the fact that this is unfinished because I started working on a preservation worker sheet. These two should be within like sweep stuff. It's this set and this set where we're going to have to alternate between them. And realistically, I'm totally fine with people just like sending them into DR. Because realistically we just need like a 4-second stun, get them out of the way, and then people should be hitting personals for this kind of stuff. And then what's the other? So Sikran's also very heavy preservation worker. Surprisingly enough, Bloodbound 4 after the nerf, Mistweaver is going to be ahead, but it's like the whole entire reason is because the weight split in half. Preservation worker does not benefit from the weight being split. Which I'm just like, damn, I'm actually swapping off the one spec I want to play just because we actually really need a preservation worker. Soup, you're fine to like also swap to preservation worker just because, you know, it's strong enough that people are winning 2 preservation workers, and with Chill and Kayam, was it? Specifically more so Chill on his Shadow Priest. What is it? I'm not like all too concerned. Like, what is it? Well, is our actual log for this? Like, this is kind of similar to like the Mitsu stuff, but it's like on. Oh, like what is it? Like he's near the top, and when you look at the DPS, like Shadow Priest is not that high up on the list. Damn, what the hunters are the ill. I don't know if there's a world that exists where we just end up benching a hunter just because the weight buff isn't useful. Because Rasha'nan, the weight buff for hunter does not exist, and on every other boss it's like it provides what 1% DPS. Granted, Frost is playing really well, so we'll probably still keep him on. But yeah, do you expect me to be talking to the mages about this fire mage swap? I'm so scared by it. By requesting it. What is it? I always requested Mitsu to start gearing up a second mage, but again, he's not going to be free for another good 2-3 weeks. So we're going to be missing that arcane mage for quite a while. So anyways, that's kind of like the base overview of all of this stuff. Let me see. I don't really want to talk about these bosses unless there's something specific. Actually, I'll go through this just so I have something to reference for Ristra. So we go into this poll. There's the 3 comp on this side. There's the 1 soul ad. I do want to like check in with whatever group I assigned for odd for this week. Oh wait, actually, before I mention that, one stuff I will note: we're going to be having Ristra as a tank for the next 2 weeks instead of Vesix. I'm going to leave it at that for the moment. What is it? Vesix is he'll be back in after the 2 weeks, but just know that he's unavailable for these upcoming 2 weeks. So I do need to get Wisher on what to do. But anyways, the stuff I was going to mention for the odd group is there's just one ad by itself. Realistically, something should be done to like CC this one. I mentioned in passing that this should be like Urso's Vortex or a Ring of Peace or something, but I don't think I ever got either of them. I would prefer the Urso's Vortex.
I have been ringing, but I ring late, like as the ads are approaching the water, because the ring only basically bounces them once, and then it doesn't do much else.
Gotcha. That's totally fine. I might ask for something like, what is it, the Earth Binding Totem, because we're going to have 2 summons in, and I'll most likely split them up. Just because, like, what is it, on this poll, I believe what ends up happening is, on the set that has fall one, what was I going to say? On the set that has the fall ad, we end up just having it, just not getting, not getting CC'd, and then one of the ad goes in. It's not that bad for like one ad. Yeah, what is it? Like we have the tank ad right here, and then what is it? We have these 3 ads. Realistically, for this set, I would prefer if, what is it, the watcher is always dragged to like whichever one is the 2 clump and it's the furthest one going clockwise, if that makes sense, like the furthest one on the left. This one's the sole ad, so you don't drag it to this one. And that's mainly just because, what is it, I want to make sure that people can actually like do the cleave and set up on the harbinger instead of having to set up on the watcher and basically walk with it. Let's see, does anything else happen in this first section? I don't think that there's anything like too important. Yeah, there's nothing like too important. So I'm just going to skip on ahead to this stuff. So this is something that I'll be mentioning to like which but it's basically like wherever the largest clump of ads is, the tank always tanks it. Actually I find it easier to like explain this as you find the ad that's by itself. So right here, this ad is spawning by itself. You just go to like the intersection that's one spot counterclockwise, and that's where you generally want to tank it. If you tank it on the other side, the issue is if the rest of the weight is with you, there's a whole bunch of tentacles interfering with the ad group, and we don't want that happening. That's why I generally make the mention of like, oh hey, this group should like move over off to the side, well the ad group isn't on, because we had a bit too many polls that had some terrorism. And then we kind of do something similar. What is it? This one's fine. The ad group got absolutely deleted, so we probably could have had this be a bit tighter, just to give them more time to kill it, the last ad, as well as like more spot to spread. And then when this group goes downstairs, see, ping over, or like running over, they hit the personals, they go downstairs. And then these ones are pretty close, so you just put the watcher in between the 2 of them, and then it'll be a 3-target cleave situation, and then we have doing a floss on the opposite side. And then this is the stuff where like, Woe should have been with the raid, and then kill this set, and then I was trying to emphasize like, we just need an extra 30% on that ad. And right here I kind of like abandon Woe because I should have had a renewing miss on him and just been cleaving off onto him. But that should be fixed for this upcoming raid day. And this ad dies just barely in time. You can see like this timer is ticking down, and that's possibly just because of the damage within that group. And then I don't think there's anything else I will want to talk about this fight. Realistically speaking, when for the current guild, as well as like if people are doing good DPS, this odd group will be going downstairs, and then they're just going to continue hitting the boss, and that should be it. Alrighty, so that's it for this boss. Bubba, you have something coming through your mic. Alrighty.
Sorry.
No, it's just good now. Alrighty, so we're going to go over Sikran a bit. I posted that whole entire thread talking about the stuff. I didn't like fully grab every single stuff that we were supposed to be doing for Sikran. So basically this is going to be like starting off with a completely different mistake that wasn't there in the thread. So obviously we want to make this box. The priority is, if making the box is too dangerous because of the way that people are placing stuff, you just make a rhombus, or you make something that ensures that you don't clip someone else. It's more important that you don't clip someone else or simulacrum than it is to like fully form the box. So right off the bat, we're going to start up. And then I didn't fully emphasize like, okay, the first person needs to be in front. So what ends up happening is this charge pops up, all of them go over. And technically speaking, because Quexo is the first person getting dash, he should have been like on triangle or something. But then like you have this weird shape and then Q gets cleared twice and then he blows up. That's probably like one of the mistakes that I would like to get fixed, was either A, the first dash target either recognizes that the first dash target, or B, people just don't be in the cleave direction and then they just go even wider. So that's the thing. Generally you want these people to be hitting personally so that if a blow up does indeed happen, you don't have like two people just randomly dying. And then the other high priority stuff is right here, there's all these swirlies, and then you're going to notice that a whole bunch of people just end up just eating swirlies all over the place. That stuff needs to be as heavily avoided as possible. Just because it's like what, half the HP. And right here, I have no idea what Nitros was doing with that jump off. Realistically, in this scenario, Nitros should have been up front, Soup should have been what Nitros is. Wo's in a good spot, I'm in a good spot. But because that's not what happened.
What is he trying to do?
Good question. So the biggest stuff that I notice that a lot of people do is as soon as they get the charge, they're already like trying to run to the edge, and then when they know it's like, oh shoot, there's not enough space, they try to do like some wonky stuff. So that's one of the stuff that I want to avoid moving forward. So we'll just go on ahead. I do have like a whole bunch of links to like the poll list, but I'm just going to manually get to the problematic sections, and then I'll go over like a lot of what the actual intention is supposed to be. So let me just go ahead, fast forward. We have a whole bunch of stuff because of Zally and Wishful problems from constantly removing Soup and then having them join back in.
Yeah, you're just destroying her spirit.
Alright, so we go into this poll, and then this is the poll. What is it? So they all go over. Wishful should have been in front for this one. I didn't fully emphasize that, but this is a good adjust. So basically what ended up happening is all these people went here. Sparkles realized that Wishful was going to dash through X, so he moves off to the side, and then Fib moves over just to make sure that he's not within 8 yards. So this is a very good adjust even if it's not the box. This is like the highest priority, and then we could just fill in this spot with some Arkhams later on, and then deaths like this can't be happening where it's like Topaz is just standing inside of a swirly and he's just getting like glued to death. That ended up happening a bit too often for a number of people. And then here we get the next task. It's like right here we have this X, we have in front of this Arkham, and then we have the 4 box off to the side. People could like fully adjust that way. And then what is it? This is around this, but it doesn't blow up, so this is good. Even if it's a wonky shape, the priority is that you don't blow the simulacrums up. And then right here, people pulling out 100% use of damage. This would be the boss is on the edge, and then ideally the AMG is where the biggest clump of people are.
I do have a request for this specific AMZ.
Yes.
Is it possible for me and Bo to swap who places the first one? Because as I'm moving the boss over to the edge, I'm having to throw down that AMZ. It's a little clunky for me personally.
I could just double check in to see what he's doing during the time. And then let me see. So we go into this section. So realistically, what's happening with this is Kaiam's in the front, Mitsu's in the back, and then the last person.
I think it was me off to the left.
Yeah, it's you over on this side. So we somehow make the box anyways because of the fact that based off of where the boss is positioned, this diagonal dash does not go through where Mort and Mitsu are. Like this is a very dangerous stuff, having the first dash going to the back of the room. It means the 3 other people have to use their eyes and make sure that they're not caught in that dash. But yeah, and then what's it? One list of that does need to be mentioned. There is a word that exists where you get this dash, and then you can see right here. Mitsu gets the dash right here, immediate follow by a decimate. That's why you hit personals after each phase blade, because of that combo of phase blade into the dash. Now, there is a very unique technique. Oh, we don't have any of them in this voice chat at the moment. Alright. Unfortunate. If you're the target by the first dash, and you have some way of going invisible, so like what is it? So who can go invisible? I know what Feint Death works. I forget who else. I assume G Invis works. I think rogues have something as well. Is it Vanis?
Would Shadow Meld work as well or no?
Yeah, Shadow Meld should work, but it's essentially if this first target of the dash invises right as this dash is about to finish casting, this whole entire dash never happens.
What?
That opens up space. Now, I don't know about abusing this bug. I don't know if Blizzard would catch people out for abusing it. But that is a thing where the first target, if they invis, this mechanic just disappears. And you basically have one extra space of simulacrums.
I feel like that's fine for a dungeon boss, but I feel like they would smack you down for a raid boss.
Yeah. It might just be, what is it? I might be misreading it. It's either it completely cancels the whole entire stuff, or it cancels after the first dash, so you only have one simulacrum to deal with. I know in my other guild we were like discussing like trying that out, and it ended up working for like all of one poll. Alright, so that's that poll. I'm going to like do a few more examples of mistakes that we ended up doing. I think there's the poll where I basically accept, okay, Sally's out, and then I'm just like taking, what is it, Soup back on board. The constant abuse. It's either Soup or someone else. Actually, I think it's someone else. So it's okay. Oh yeah, it's Mickey. Actually, I'll ping something after this. So right here, this is a very good adjust. This is using 6 seconds very well, because like these two are obviously trying to like determine the spot, and then they make the last minute adjust. Even if that last minute adjust is fairly spooky, that's the benefit of going there early. But yeah, that's a very good play. And then I believe on this one, I ping on this side, and then I think, oh yeah, see right here. This is something I posted in the thread. It's these guys go over here, Kaim should commit to the front. Even though he sees Mitsu like rushing in, he needs to let Mitsu adjust around him. When you get to a spot, you commit to it early. Unless it's the first dash person, in which case you might have to give them an exception, because if they go behind you, you're getting dashed through. So that's something that you should read pretty quickly. Alrighty. So I'm going to leave at that. Let me just screenshot this and then ping the 3 mages.
Prepare for raid chat to blow the fuck up.
Mitsu.
Do I also ping Mitsu?
You should, I mean.
Yes.
I'm sure he's aware of it, but like
He saw this coming 3 weeks ago.
Alrighty. Alrighty. Waiting for the chaos to happen.
I want Mitsu to be the first one to say something.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Mitsu to say something.
Please. Oh, it's DXC. Damn it. I knew it.
I don't like these responses.
This basically shows how much they pay attention. Well,
DXC, yeah,
I
knew
mean,
it.
I don't think you gotta worry about Mitsu with fire, because
Oh, definitely not. I just wanted Mitsu's reaction to
Yeah.
fire overtaking.
yeah, I
our
know Mitsu can play all three mage specs. I'm just
Yeah.
waiting for him to be like, yeah, but Arcade Mage still has a really good burst profile, which you still want to take for like the big fights.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Let's go ahead and move over to Sikran. I'm going to leave it at that for the moment. What is it? Right. So let's just go over like what is it? So this is like unholy decay, wink one pause. This is like the ideal movement. Oh my. I mean, the median is still pretty high, but yeah, what is it? I think let me just go over, what is the fire mage stuff? I think for fire mage, it's like 314 pauses. This is a bit of big, but it's still actually very much a real thing. Alrighty, so anyways,
Is that photoshopped? That's not real, right?
it's real.
That's not real. No. Oh my
Alrighty.
god.
Don't worry about swapping. If you've already been practicing Arcade Mage, just continue with Arcade Mage. Alrighty. So we're going to continue with this. You're going to see like the most scuffed faceplates. I think it's either the second set or it's the third set, where this faceplate just comes in like super scuffed. And this is the kind of stuff where I'm emphasizing like, oh yeah, you know, in an ideal world, we're making a box, but you know, sometimes you just have to make a rhombus. Sometimes you just have to make a triangle. It is what it is. Like realistically, this person should have been in front on this side. I'll post the image for it because I see what Missy was typing, but it's not necessarily bloodbound horror. And then right here, you can see like this person goes all the way over to the side. Again, a very weird rhombus shape, but essentially they're trying to backfill this spot. And this person should have been a bit closer in, but it's whatever. But the priority is, if you can make the box, you can make the box. If you're first task, you want to try to be in front. Otherwise, the only minimum requirement is you can't be within 8 yards, and we want to minimize the space that we take up with the faceplates. This is the only mechanic of the fight. A lot of people say that this should usually take, like right here. You can see this is a beautiful adjust. Even if this is incorrect, mage goes over here. They notice that this guy is like absolutely lost. The mage just adjusts over. Wonderful play. Even if the shape is like insanely wonky now, you absolutely do not want to pop the simulacrums under any circumstances. You just spend the time looking around. And then here's the other stuff that I am constantly emphasizing for Sikran. It is pre-positioning, right? Let me go back to Avod. Right, so right here, we're about going to a charge. I want you to notice everyone is on this side of the room. They're all towards the middle, because if they don't get a faceplate, you get to just sit and plant. This is a very risky one because it means that as soon as you get it, you have to immediately find a way to dash. This is good play. Look right here. Like, faceplates are going to come up in 17 seconds. Almost all of the lanes are in position for the faceplate area. They're going to start in the faceplate area and then they move out if they don't get a faceplate. It results in a tiny bit of a DPS and healing loss, but it makes it so much easier to adjust around like, okay, do I have a faceplate? Yes, no. And then part of what helps making sure that the melees are towards the outside is the tanking pointing towards the center. So all the melees by default want to hang out around the back of the boss towards where the faceplates would go. You can also do it sideways as well. That's totally fine. But like, what is it? Even though, what is it? This one is like almost all 4 melees except for like this one person over here. I think it's a lock. No, it's a DK. But like, what is it? Even if you don't get picked for this, having all these range on the outside of the arena, constantly rotating around, it makes it so much easier. And then right here, they're just rotating out of it. Because when we find a pole where the range actually ends up getting picked, once again, range position on the outside, very good. It should be this pole. Right here, look, there's 2 range who are already outside. They only take like 1 second to get to the faceplate spot. And then they have 7 seconds waiting for the faceplate to come up, being ready to adjust. Like, they see this demon hunter come in, this person's like making micro adjustments around the demon hunter. That's kind of a very big stuff I want for the range to change. You have to really pre-position and work around the fact that like you might have to like constantly move out the range for faceplates, but you give yourself as much time to prevent any wipes that could potentially happen throughout this fight. Alrighty, so that's Sikran. Let me just post this. I know that this is where it's getting avoided by. Let me see, 42 pulses of, actually let me see, let's do one week, actually 1 day, let's do 1 day. Now let me see, I want it to be aligned by classes. Alrighty, so that's it for Sikran. So again, most important stuff is you're popping a personal. If you have to do something, let's say that all the swords are all popping up right underneath your feet. If you have to pick between eating the sword or stepping into the void zone, you always step into the void zone. The void zone does a lot less damage, but you do need to pop a personal. It's a guaranteed personal at that point, even though you should have a good habit of popping a personal whenever you get hit by a face blade. I have no idea if Fallen Mage has a funnel. I'm just going to leave it at that. Alrighty. What is it? So that's it for Sikran. We'll go over to Rasha'nan next. Let me see, where is Rasha'nan? So speak of the devil. We're going to use rank 1 fire mage POV for this Rasha'nan. So they do something at the very start of the fight, which I'm 50-50 on. Actually, before we start this stuff, so I posted it in the channel. Where is it? This is the, basically it's going to go from like A to B1, C1. What is it? A, B1, C1, B2, C2, D1. The better visualization for this, which I'll post, is these 2 images. So it goes top right, back right, same side, goes back to the top left, same side, and then goes across, and then it ends the fight over here. And then the other alternative pattern is it goes to the top left instead, but it's the same idea. Top left. What is it? Actually, I shouldn't say top left. It'll go to 1, same side for 2, crossover for 3, same side for 4, crossover for 5. Because what is it? Realistically, we're looking at the fight from the monkey going forward. I'm not saying it top left. Yeah. Alright, so let's go over Rasha'nan once more. This time with more emphasis on how the spinneret strands are going to be done. So right here, we'll have 5 stacks of the dot. These people get the bomb mechanic. These people who have the bomb mechanic will want to hit a personal. This fight, you're going to run out of personals really quick. And what is it? This is a fight where healers are going to have to be ready for whatever spot healing that needs to be done. So, and then you have the kill sign mechanic. Ideally, in this scenario, all these people would be just lined up all on the left, or they're going to just be one small melee clump. There should never be a scenario where it's like you have one range out in Narnia and then the other 3 are in melee, and all of a sudden you have like this triangle kill zone. So anyways, we have these ads. Make sure no one's in the circle. If anyone's in the circle, you spawn extra ads. And then in an ideal world, these ones get gripped in, and then they die in 1 leg sweep. 1 leg sweep, 1 chaos nova. So like all these pop up, they just it looks like in this case they're just DPSing them down. And then these people, you can see right here, this warrior ends up getting chunked pretty nastily by the ad. Like this is why you want to hit a personal when you have an ad on you. It is an insane amount of damage that the ads do. So that's the other spot that you want to hit a personal. So it's either you have the bomb mechanic, you're going to hit a personal, or you have the ads, in which case you're hitting the personal towards roughly when the bomb is going to explode. And then this rolling acid, you shouldn't really need a personal for this one. It does drop you like 50%, but that's something that the healer should just be dealing with. You should not be hitting a personal for that unless you're like going to die. It should be a health pot of health stone angle if you actually do need a personal use for that. Right, and then they're going to fly away. It's going to fly away. So for the bomb placement, they placed it on the left. Left is totally fine. I'm most likely going to ask for the back of the room, but if we're having issues where people actually like running from the back of the room back into melee without clipping people, we'll just do a left or right web. And ideally, people are using the rolling acid right here. You want to clear as many webs as possible while also making sure that the safe zone exists. It's kind of similar to Dawnbreaker, how you want to use the rolling acid to clear the webs, because these puddles will disappear within 1 minute after they change to an acid pool. And then the number one stuff about these acid pools is you don't want to step inside of them. You're going to take like 1 to 2 million damage per half second while you're inside of them. Really spooky stuff. You can see like, was it the Warlock like stepped into an acid pool for like half a second and they basically lost 30% of their HP. And then for this strand, it's going to pop up on this side. I believe it's after this raid wide. They're all going to place it on the left. Keep in mind, don't go too far into the left. If you leap or gap kills near this wall, or like evoker hover into it, you will hit a yielding screen. I'm saying that as a precaution. If you just like normal run into it, there's no cause of issues, but there's a chance that if you're using like a big movement tool on this wall, a yielding screen will pop up and it's going to be hell. And then right here, see like this person who's all the way in the back, they should be a lot closer in. Like it's a failure to it. I don't know why they're like all the way out in Narnia. Like this is such a big kill zone. Like if any of these people end up being more to the left, that would have like caused a whole bunch of problems. no reason for malwares to disengage. Right, and then we go over to the next one. This one, I believe it's 2 spinwidth strands. So we're going to, let me just speed it up. Yeah, so it's 2 spinwidth strands. We're just going to place them to either the right or left, wherever the original zone that we started in. Just because we're never going to return to that area, so we want to empty that as much as possible. So right here, they get a nice set of bombs. They're going to hit the chunkiest personal they have, and they're just going to drop it on the webs once more. And then healers are just spot healing them. And again, melee, either this top person or this bottom person should be a lot closer in so that this triangle isn't this big. It's totally fine for all 4 people to like just be standing on top of each other. But yeah, we're dropping 2 sets of spider webs on the side that we're not going to be returning to. And I believe this one they have this spooky silk that's going to pop up. So Rasha'nan's going to land. It's supposed to claw off these acid pools when it lands, but it's bugged. So what is it? I always clawed off the one on the right, but you want to make sure that whenever you're doing the silk mechanic, if there's an acid pool, you're not just standing inside the acid pool. You're going to get ticked down to death prior to that, any of that stuff happening. And then here we're going to do these bombs. Again, we're going to drop them near the wall. We don't want it to be in the path that we're taking the gateway to, because it's going to fly to the same side. Over to the left. We don't want spider webs. I don't know what this Prius is doing. I'm just going to skip ahead because the next one should not have any spinwidth strands. I believe they're going to kill it. Yeah. But yeah, right here you can see there's a whole bunch of acid pool in the back. There's a silk puddle that pops up. They're just trying to be in the part of the silk puddle that doesn't have any acid. And then if there's an acid near the front side of it, you want to make sure that you're not getting pulled into the acid. Because, for example, this rogue, they would have died if they got an acid tick. And you can see like, it's been 1 minute since Rasha'nan dropped some of these puddles, so they start disappearing. Right here, we're just going to skip ahead, because what is it? There shouldn't be any spinwidth strands for this one. Yeah, it's just this line mechanic. So this one has double adds. We're just going to continue. In this section, of what they have, they're going to kill like way before the enrage. But this one has 2 sets of webs. Most likely what we'll do is we'll drop 1 web to the left and then 1 web to the right, and then we're basically fighting for enrage. So pretty simple fight. Most of this will probably be more so, what is it? Just people getting used to when they should actually be hitting personals and all that kind of stuff. Do be careful when you go out. You don't want to stack these like they're doing currently, because now it means that these 2 people have 2 tacky webs each, and these people over here have 2 tacky webs each, which means that instead of 4 breaks for 4 million damage, that's 8 breaks for 8 million damage. That's a severe misplay on their end, because right here, some people obviously can't live that much damage. And then let me see. There's the link to VOD. This one includes the enrage cast. So I'll just like show it off again. So right here they're dropping the last set of webs. And then then this elusive spray, what is it? Elusive spray around 6:14, 6:15. This is a 30-second long elusive spray, and you're basically, the initial part should just be regular healer stuff. As you're approaching like 14, 15 stacks, you want to start hitting your personals, and then whatever health pot and health stones you have left over, you're just trying to love and kill. We most likely will be seeing this, at least for the moment. Yeah, basically they almost died due to this cast almost finishing. I believe the boss actually flies away, and then it just one-shots you from that point on, because you're at 34 stacks. If the healers have to move, they're not going to be able to keep the elite alive. But yeah, so that's going to be it for like the quick 1 hour talk. So yeah, any questions for these bosses?
The only question I had was regarding the possible swap of AMZs on Sikran. Other than that, I think I'm good.
Yeah, I'm totally fine for that stuff, for checking to see if the swap is doable. I'm pretty sure Bo for the most part is totally fine just dropping AMC wherever. But yeah, and then the only other stuff for Sikran and Rasha'nan, I would prefer for people to be closer to 616 or above prior to raid. I know that might not 100% be possible. I will mention, just because this preservation vocal isn't 100% a certain thing, I'm aiming to basically not even take anything from raid unless it's like no one else needs it. That's kind of what I did for my Miss Weaver as well, where I basically, aside from Tia, I didn't take anything, just because I really dislike taking ute if I have infinite time to farm. But yeah, this is a thing. But yeah, cool. But yeah, what is it? I just actually go briefly back over like this stuff, just because Dax is here. Oh, and Mickey's also here. So yeah, Fire Mage is a thing for Sikran and what is it? For Sikran and Rasha'nan, Arcane Mage is still above, just because on Rasha'nan, Arcane Mage gets some funnel damage, even though the ads don't count to the boss. Sikran, they're like kind of almost similar. At maximum, there's like a really big gap, but we don't care about max. And then I think the more important stuff I was going to mention is like at 75th, the gap isn't that big, at least when compared to something like Frost Mage. And then for the actual other fight, which was talking about bloodbound horror, which again it's going to inflate it by a whole lot, just because there's a whole bunch of ads and the ads just need to die. I wouldn't really consider that to be padding. Let me see, because the ads do need to die. And then if we just talk about damage to boss, yeah, this stuff exists. Too bad we don't have an Alms Warrior for this week. I'm just kidding. And then let me see, what's the other one? Olgrax. Arcane Mage is still up ahead for boss damage, and then Fire Mage is up because of the intermission. Realistically speaking, for Olgrax, I do want more of P1 damage, so I would prefer the Arcane Mage for this fight. Because essentially, where is our Olgrax kill? What is it? When does this spawn? Oh yeah, because I'm going to be swapping to Preservation Vocal, there will be no revival for one of the sets of digestive acid. So I'll just speed up to when that actually happens. Show up Canoe's contest, Tank Buster, web stuff pops up. this digestive acid that's about to pop up, this would not have revival on it. So you'll just have to live the full duration of this. And then where is this stuff? So in an ideal world, we'd have more single target damage, so that on this section of the fight, at 726, this boss is just dead. Realistically speaking, we're probably going to have this boss around 5 to 10%, given most comps. What is it? Currently we have it at like 16%, so yeah, 5-10%. Ideally we have enough single target damage that this boss is just deleted and we don't have to play this last set of intermission. And then the only other stuff I'll probably request for these stuff, I know that we're usually taking the ads around where they're spawning. I would prefer if it's something closer to like where they're currently at the moment, where it's like we're trying to take them closer to the middle of the arena, and we're just letting all of them come to us, and then all of the range and melee should be further into the middle, so that the first target is the tanks on the opposite side. So like it'd be the raid, you'd have all of these ads, you'd have the tank, and then you have the newly spawned ads behind the tank. That way we don't have to deal too much with aggro issues throughout this fight. And then let me see, is there anything else? Bogarts, I don't really have much else to say, aside from just people just being mindful of their HP whenever they get a bomb debuff or during the intermission. Oh, what is it? One stuff of note. Wistra.
Yes, Captain, my captain.
Since you're going to be tanking, I want you to let you know all of these ads, they apply a bleed. I want you to be aware of this.
That's fine. Would you like me to call for like a bop once all the ads are dead, or when I feel it's mandatory?
Oh, is it? You can call. I mean, was it? We have an invoker, but yeah, you can call for bop when all these are dead. That just means that the boss, if you had aggro on the boss, it would swap back to bubble.
I'll make sure I have a cancel Laura macro just to instantly remove.
But yeah, I'm mainly emphasizing that because there's two sections where tanks usually die in this fight. It's either it's during this ad section because people are getting hit by random stuff, and then the healers end up having to heal those people instead of the tanks. Yep. And then the second stuff that you most likely are going to die to is if the boss does Hungering Bellows right before this transition, you're going to be on HP. Boss is going to do like 1 or 2 autos, one auto, and then it's going to go into the brutal class. Which, if you're not prepared for that tank slam, it's just going to delete you. Cause following that, you have Venomous Lass, which is the dot that takes for like, what is it, 8 seconds? And this will just rot you out because you can't be healed for 10 seconds. Oh, it's 6 seconds for the wall damage. And then since you're here, I will just retread this step with Bloodbound Horror. Oh, it's our kill pool. I don't want the counter to be popping up. Let me see what time is this. We'll just go on ahead. So when the ads spawn, the way that the position where you want to position the boss is it's going to be on the intersection 1 spot clock counter from the solo ad. So like for example this showing after 2 minutes, this ad is going to be popping up 180 from the big clump, and then you'll want to be within whatever the next gap over counterclockwise. Usually I'll ping this area. Just because what is it? Our ideal laser beam stuff is going to be, what is it? You have like this clump over here, you want one of the laser beams to be in this kind of configuration. And then of course I have the waypoint image of what that's supposed to look like. This one is like the tight configuration in the event that you feel like they're just going to blast and you have like no concern of like making it tighter so that they have more space to move. And then what is it for this, for Sikran? Let me see, what's important for you is the tank combo. These exposures are physical damage, and then on the face launch you tank swap, and then this is a mixture of shadow plus physical damage.
And the main big hit's the second puncture or expose armor, right?
You have two big hits. You have the second expose and you have the phase launch.
Okay.
And then what is it? Just as a reminder, what is it? Once we do the second set of phase blades, you're going to drag the boss to the edge of the arena. Oh yeah, what is it? This is one of the posts that I posted in like Sikran dashes. If this happens, will like nitrous and material like on this side, so technically Sparkle should be further up. Yeah, he's going to move. But if these swirls pop up, dodge away from each other. Don't do what nitrous and material are doing and dodging like towards each other. You don't give you basically have both these people like about like fall off the arena because they're just out of space. And then what is it? Let me actually just go over the mod that I just showed a moment ago for what it's supposed to be. So it's basically you do the two phase blades, you try to make the box. This person should be making the box, but the priority is to not clip each other. And then after this one, you drag the boss to the edge, similar to what they're doing here. This one would be further towards the edge so that they can actually cleave one straight line through this. But yeah, it's very important that this positioning gets done. I'll call out like this one to go towards the edge. But yeah, really cool. So that's everything. I can talk for another hour for like anything else. Anyone has like questions about any of the current fights or like anything that they want me to look over with logs. No question. What the dude? We get way too many of these apps. There's stuff posted in raid chat. Or someone's
Bring
like,
them in.
they're like, oh, I waited in US top 20 for like BFA Shadowlands. You look at the logs currently and it's like 0 percentiles, and I'm like, dude, you're washed up.
You just gotta give them a chance.
Dude, I cannot express how many apps that, wait, so we have like a few golden eggs that like I'm hoping to like maybe potentially introduce later on, depending on like what interest line. But there are way too many people who are like, yeah, I'm like top 20, top 50 from BFA Shadowlands region, you know, like I wouldn't be waiting at a very high Hall of Fame level again. You look at the logs and it's like, it's 0 percentile. You see absolutely 0 defenses being hit. You look at the positioning and it's like the most god awful thing, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know what makes you think that you can play at this level, but you're not it.
Cut his mic. Stop the recording.
I mean, he patted on ads for Brood Twister or Bloodbound. At least he's got a green one in there. I don't know. I think he's US top 20 ready again.
Oh, enough of making that kind of one. But yeah, what is it? In ideal world, we are killing both Sikran and Rasha'nan this weekend, but it heavily depends on people's prep work. In terms of doing the fights, like realistically speaking, where's my stats stuff? So one of the reasons why I'm constantly emphasizing the prep work, even though I know that this gets heavily shaded by high-end guilds, is 17 points of Olgrax, 14 points of Bloodbound Horror, 7 points of Sikran. If we were to look at what the public logs for prog stats are, it's 3 to 8 points of Olgrax, so we're double that. Bloodbound Horror is 4 to 11, which 14 isn't that bad in comparison, and the Sikran's 3 to 9. So realistically, the fact that we've already seen up to 430 means that where's one of our polls? I'm just going to go to the next poll wherever this stuff happens, because like I ordered a whole bunch of stuff. We're going to speed on ahead. We already had a mistake like in this back of the room. Let's just go with the next one. Like this kind of stuff, this kind of stuff can't be happening. What's it? It's totally fine for the first raid day, but for future stuff, those types of mistakes, I'm going to be like a bit harsher on. And then where's another one? I want the other common type of mistake aside from standing on the simulacrum. Like what is it? I think there's like one stuff that happens here again for the simulacrum. I know it as soon as oh yeah, so this one flip you just like run into the simulacrum. This should not be happening. Right, what is it? I'm forever going to repeat the dead horse. If you look at most of the good VODs of this fight, the range are on the outside right where the simulacrums would be spawning. Even though that means that you have to move more, it is a lot safer to already be in position so that if you get a faceplate, you're just standing still, or you have like plenty of time to like recognize it. If you're choosing to stand in the middle, you're going to need to have like the biggest amount of raid awareness in order to actually make that work. And I'm not going to what is it? Beat the boss. Some of our raid awareness just suck in terms of recognizing who's going well. What was one of our good polls? Let me see. Let me just go to this timestamp one. Like, so this is what I mean by like you need to have like omega awareness if you're going to like stand in the middle, which is mostly the melee DPS. Like right here, I'm planning on going to the back. I recognize that Kaim's going to this back, and that was originally where I was going to go. So I just plan in front, and I just hope that Wishkiller can adjust to the last spot. Like, what's it? You can see how much time there is, because essentially I get to this spot, I decide to plant here. It's 5 seconds left before I get dashed. Like, I'm giving time for the last person to move over. So pre-position, or you have to be insanely good at identifying like, okay, where is everyone actually going to go, and not like absolutely panicking your brains out. But yeah, the goal is to clear within the next I want to say 5 to 10 pulls. Oh, awesome.
I think I realized the pre-positioning like on our like last couple pools.
Yeah. Oh, what is it? The reason why I'm emphasizing the prep work is in an ideal world, you would already recognize that pre-positioning before we even step foot into the raid. That's the kind of prep work that I want people to get more so used to. Like, you shouldn't be, oh, like, oh, I'm going to see what the damage event looks like, or I'm going to see how my CDs align, or I'm going to see how my positioning should be. You should be having a good idea prior to raid, like, okay, this is how I should position so that I have time to do the mechanic. Also, what is it? There's stuff like here. What happens to Morton Topaz? I assume that the two of them were just lagging, but you can't just be having like all these swirls pop up and then people just fall over because they're just eating every single swirl known to mankind. No harm in just sitting out in Narnia in the back of the room or disengaging off the boss to have that kind of
Right up.
Yes.
Something else I wanted to add about the time where I had that like last second jump. You know how your weak aura timer still had 2 seconds and the boss was still charging?
Yes.
The entire weak aura time is until the last person is charged. So if you're the last person getting charged and you still need the position, that's what gave me a lot of confidence to get in position with that leap. So if people are like really unsure, looking at your position and the order of the dashes will actually help you like manage where you're gonna plant.
This 8 seconds is basically the last person dash. I believe around 3 seconds the first dash is going to hit fairly. Yeah, it's 3 going to 2 that it starts to hit fairly. So you have the initial 6 seconds. Hence why I keep emphasizing like range should already be on this side of the arena, so that you can use that full 6 seconds to figure out. And if you're already positioned in the back of the room, the melee should be able to see you, and they're like, okay, I'm taking up a front spot, no big deal. Or like they'll recognize like, okay, you're first dash, I have to like go a bit to the side so that the dash doesn't go through me. Where was one pull where that ended up happening? This one's a really wonky one. But yeah, you can see like how much time people have, because like this is essentially, you have 2 range people. What is it? As soon as this stuff pops up, in an ideal world, Vip and Topaz would be a bit more closer to their side, but this is good enough positioning because you can see what that is. But like you can see like Power Punch has like more than enough time to like move over and adjust over. That's the really emphasis part of like repositioning. What ends up happening for this one? We'll just ignore that for the moment. Let me see what else is there. Like for example, right here, in an ideal world, what is it? These people would already be out. Like Bo gets out really quick, and then he recognizes like, oh, Mitchie's trying to take the back spot. Okay, I'll just move to the front. Those are really good adjusts. That's kind of, because he was still early enough, he had like that extra time to adjust around that. And then we won out because we're down 1 healer. And then we'll see next stuff. We could put this AMG a whole lot here, so like realistically, this edge right here of this void shadow stuff, that's kind of like all we have to get to in order to make sure that we don't take the extra damage. Yeah, let me see. I know we had a pull where someone has first dash. I think this is the one that gets very spooky. Yeah, this one gets very spooky. Because essentially, I think this one we got pretty lucky. Because, what is it? This dash that's going from Fury to Kaim barely does not clip Mickey in this. In ideal world, Mickey would have been like up front, like right where my mouse is, like on top of Bo's minion, because he's the first dash. But this is kind of like the adjustment around, like, give each other enough space, don't dash through each other. not the ideal shape, but it's better than blowing something up and then everyone falls over.
Would you just plant in that case, or would you still try to adjust to get back to the front? Like
Oh,
for
I
that
see.
specific situation
This specific situation.
Where-
is it?
Mickey's first.
Oh,
I
is
think
it?
you kind of refer to like the time left on the charge to make
Yeah.
that call.
So right here he has 3 seconds left. So if he's confident on moving uphill in 3 seconds, he should do it. Because what is it? Realistically, if he starts moving forward, Philly's probably going to notice that he's moving forward and he'll move more to the back, and that'll give the extra space.
I just didn't know if it was worth because like 3 other people would also have to recognize that you're adjusting, and then they would have to adjust.
What is it? Realistically, this person up front, it doesn't matter. As long as this person where I'm standing gives enough space for someone to exist here, it's totally fine. So this person does not have to adjust. And then, what is it? Climb over here, he doesn't have to adjust because his dash is on back. It's literally just one person adjusting in this scenario. And then it's just Philly adding an extra space if he notices that the person can't get that far forward. Like, what is it? That's kind of why I keep mentioning it, overemphasizing this like pre-positioning, because if all the lanes were already pre-positioned in this back of the arena, you have this full 8-second timer. First dash happens around 2.1, 2.2, so you have 6 seconds to recognize like, oh, I'm the first dash. My red arrow comes from Sikran, so I'm just going to move in to the front spot, and I'm going to hope that the rest of the group adjust around me. But yeah. Like, what is it? This even though like this looks wonky, as long as the first dash is in front, this is totally fine. Like, what is it? It's text, box, quicksell, and Q. That's like a totally fine one. Even if it gets like wonky simulacrums, you can see we just get all of them. And then here there would be another heal CD for this, but we're down a healer, so things don't look too hard. Just make sure that you're popping personals, especially for these ones where it's base plate followed by decimate. Like if I start picking that the thing is going to the edge, or like I start saying something like aim your lines through the simulacrums, you should just hit a personal on that base plate. And then if you have the decimate by itself, you shouldn't be all too worried about your HP. Like, what is it? You can see here untargeted, Spark is targeted, and then Dax is targeted. So realistically, me and Unilay, we have like zero issues with the decimate, and then it's everyone else who should be more concerned about their HP. Because like, what is it? You can see like, I basically barely get ticked through this. Granted, I think I hit 4 blue for this. Yeah, I did. You can just want to like utilize HP. Like, yeah, it ticks down, but it's still like, in ideal world, we have the 4th heal up, and this is not a problem at all. Alrighty. Let me see, what else is there? If no one else has any questions, which I can go over stuff real quick for the tank stuff for Healog. He's not even here. Oh my goodness.
He'll be back
just
in an
gonna
hour.
raw
He'll
dog
be
it.
starting his computer.
He's still loading in.
Alrighty. I'm gonna what is it? Unless if anyone else has any questions about like, oh, should I be doing X, Y, and Z? I'm totally down to answer it. Otherwise, I'm just going to wait for Wizard to be free so I can talk to him about the tank stuff. Because what is it? I literally read his message and he was like, yeah, I'm just going to feel for the damage event in the raid, and I'm like, no. No. Oh, what is it? I will mention. Oh wait, Bubba's also on. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh well, I'll do that for the next meeting. What is it? What's the liquid PV? I'll just talk about the next fight. Very briefly. Because like no one else has any questions about the current stuff. I'm going to tell you right now. What the heck? Oh, what is it? What's this liquid POV? This volatile concoction that the tank gets is like so dangerous. What is it? It happens pretty early on. Like right now it's on EFDK. He's only missing like 10% HP and it does like a whole bunch of damage. If you look at our heroic raid, let me see, what is this stuff? Over next. Go over to damage taken. We go over to volatile concoction. This one's the Bjork one. You're going to notice like a good deal of these are like, so like, actually let me just put myself here. Even though I mitigate a bit more. You notice that like a good deal of these are like 900k, but then some of these extend upwards to 1.6 million. I'll let you know right now, Overnex is probably the highest tank responsibility in terms of tank positioning and tank mitigation. Because if we go over to, so first off, the biggest issue is this volatile concoction, it's ticking like 1.4 million every single second. Which means that the tank needs a very big mitigation or a very quick heal right before it builds up, because the baseline explosion is like 1.4 million. More likely, what is it? Let me pull up like some of the earlier polls, and then let me just grab one. Let me just grab a Prius. You can see like 2.3 million because we had two blood decays. One of them forgot to hit AMS right before the explosion happened, and we kind of just blew up. This one's also 2.5 million. This one is 4 million, which is not so survivable. If we were to actually look at 46 seconds, right here, you see this tank has popped. This tank popped AMS right at the start of the dot tick, which is the bad play. You're supposed to pop it near the end. Right around here, they get the last tick, that 51% HP. Boom, 4 million damage taken by the raid. Tank cannot afford to be not mitigating the last few hits. They have to heavily emphasize like we need to be at full HP, and they can't just leave it as a healer mechanic. They have to fully recognize like, okay, what is my defensive play? Otherwise, what is it? Where's the stuff first? Let me just pull up over the next one. And I'll probably work with the tanks. If the tanks go in with like bare minimal plans of like, okay, we're just going to wing it for each one, look at how many volatile concoctions there are. A lot of guilds end up wiping to each single volatile concoction and spend an extra of 3 to 4 pulls as the tanks try to figure out how do I live through this one and get back to full HP. So that's something I'm going to be emphasizing with the tanks. And realistically, the raid also has to kind of treat these ones as a tank hit themselves.
Hello there.
We are in the tail end, or I'm just talking about random stuff for raid. But yeah, this is something that I'll be working with later on, because if the tank isn't fully 100% paying attention, on top of like, okay, what is it? What is over next? Like, obviously the tanks are going to be like distracted by a whole bunch of stuff. Like right here, this black blood is going to finish up. They're going to they have to drag the boss over. Volatile concoction pops up, which means that they're doing a tank swap. This tank now needs to be fully healed. Ads pop up. This volatile concoction is 2 seconds up from activating, and as these ads are getting booped in, this is going to be like a plus of war plus of like triple chaos nova, and this tank needs to be able to recognize, like, even if I'm mass gripping using a bomb or sigil change, or I have to chaos nova or whatever, I have to make sure that this tank buster is mitigated as much as possible, otherwise the raid just blows up and dies. And it is so easy to like be in the midst of like, okay, I have all these parasites, I have to mass grip them in, I have to CC them, I have to like make sure that the Colossus Spiders have aggro on someone and they're not going to beat someone up. It is a lot for tanks to pull up. I believe Mitsu and Setsu have mentioned that this fight is, aside from like everyone getting used to like the egg break order, as well as like making sure kick orders and CCs are in tune, this is probably the one fight that is the most dependent on your tank's skill level. You have weak tanks, this fight is very rough to plug. So that's something I'm going to be emphasizing for Bubba and Vesix sometime down the road, because this is a fight that really, it's insanely punishing. But yeah, we'll talk about that in like 2 or 3 weeks. I don't want to like bring it up right now when like it doesn't matter at all. Let me see, is there anything else? We already went through like a million stuff with Sikran. People have the lot to like go over it. Rasha'nan, I've already mentioned, like, you're going to be popping potions here, you're going to be dropping the webs in a certain way. Actually, I just saw the wait plan. I need to edit the wait plan because it's not so obvious what's going on. Let me just edit this. I'm just going to put an icon for the boss, so we can put Nerubian flyer. So like, boss is here. I'm just going to put the weight clump here. Second time, boss will be here. Weight clump is here. These people are dropping the webs over there. It flies over to the same side. Boss is here. Clump is here. Actually, this one we're going to change. Let's see, so boss is here. Clump is here. We're just sending these guys back into the webs. They're just going to just change this ever so slightly, just to give us a bit more space. This one, boss flies over this side now. This one with no drops. Let me just move this no drops over. Boss is over here. We have this clump here. And then we're in the last zone. Things are just going to like fly around a whole bunch. And then we cover up the last section with spider webs, and then we just have our safe little cubby as we're trying to beat and rage. But yeah, this is essentially how we're dropping the webs. It's going to be back of the room or on the left side. One of the two, I'll decide later on. This one you're dropping near the wall. This one you drop back by the entrance that we came from. Same stuff, you're dropping it within the web just to give us as much space as possible. We then fly over to this side. You once again drop it near the wall. We have no bomb drops here. And then here you're just dropping the bombs. Go a bit more to the left. and then you just fill in the last spot over. Cool. So that's Rasha'nan. Really important that you don't panic and you just drop your bombs off in the middle of nowhere. Like, what is it? I'm going to fully emphasize this. If we've decided, like, for example, in this spot, they're going to drop the spider webs on the left. If we've decided that we're going to drop all these bombs on the left, you cannot be dropping a bomb off to the right or behind us. Like, it has to be all on the same side. And I will ping which side we're dropping the bomb. So make sure that you're fully aware of, like, how we're dropping the bombs and in what order. Right, cool. Then, who is this dude? Let me see. Right, cool. Yeah, I wish I wasn't connecting then. I'm just going to end things there and I'm just going to try to get a conversation with him going a bit later on. For Dax and Mickey, don't worry too much about this fire mage stuff. It's what? We only have 314 pulses compared to 8,300. It's not going to be like a full-time request for me. I'm just memeing about the fact that there are fire mages right at the top. It's not even the fire mage that Mickey's mentioning. Foggy's like all the way down here. Yeah, because there's only like 314 fire mages, it's like, they're just all over the place. Who knows? Don't practice it purely for the sake of like what it currently is, but if you're interested in going for it, you're free to practice it if you'd like. I've always mentioned this stuff of if you have multiple specs, I'd rather people play whatever you're most comfortable with, because most likely whatever you're comfortable with will give you more DPS, even if some of them are yellow on this whole entire stuff. Let me just roll back the damage, because there's no proper representation.
I'll be right back.
No way. Alright, cool. Let me just go ahead and stop this recording.